everybody, and welcome to Moto2 for the 2023 French Grand Prix here at Le Mans. It is Sam Lowes who starts on pole position for Great Britain after his victory last time out at the Spanish Grand Prix. Can he do the double and take it here at France? We're certainly hoping so as well. It's the 1000th event for MotoGP. For the first time this year, we are live with Moto2 coverage as well. The start procedures in around about 10 minutes time as well. Sam Lowes on pole position, Alonso Lopez second. Lowes' teammate Tony Arbolino starts in third. There's a lot to look forward to. Let's head down then to the paddock where Susie Perry is talking with Sylvain Guintoli and Neil Hodgson, as well with Nat Quirk around on the grid. Down to you, Susie.
Chance of the world title this year, and as the season started, it was consistent. He kept saying, "Don't panic, Neil, don't panic, I've got it, I feel good, I'm riding well, I'm on it," the usual same. But I don't know, today yesterday was fantastic. He can win today. Back-to-back wins will put him right in this championship.
Oh, it would be incredible, wouldn't it? Great crowds here, by the way, if you're just joining us. It's an absolute sellout, 110,000. Been loving everything. They've been providing so much entertainment on track. All kinds of freestyle events and the riders going down. The riders have been loving it as well. I mean, I think it was on Thursday night, Fabio Quartararo was watching the freestyle. He was losing his mind over it. It was great to see. But it's Sam Lowes on track now. The Bugatti circuit and 2/10 faster. That's a lot on a circuit like this.
Yeah, it really is. The Bugatti circuit, it's quite a basic track. There's quite medium to long straights with heavy braking. So once you've sort of fixed your brake markers, there's not a lot of time to be gained. So I'd say over 50% of this track, there's not a lot between the fastest and slowest. And then for Sam to be quarter of a second faster than the whole field is something you don't see at this track. Really, in the past we've seen it where the whole field's covered by a second. So to be the stand-up man by a quarter of a second is honestly, it's stunning.
Oh.
Who's that? Is that Ramirez?
Who's that? Gomez, is it?
Yeah. Obviously had an issue on his side tonight. Nothing worse. What a nightmare. They're trying to get the bike started.
Starting from the 9th row, so well, let's see what happens with that one then. Back to Sam then, as we look at the grid, pretty much fully formed here for Moto2. Got Alonso Lopez, he was the second fastest yesterday in qualifying, and Tony Arbolino on the front row. Tony's a handful, isn't he?
Yeah, Tony's been going really well and looks confident, and obviously he's Sam's teammate, so he'll be able to see exactly where Sam made that time. But I don't know, I've just got a feeling it's going to be Pedro Acosta and Sam. It's going to be just like Jerez.
Yeah, so, I mean, Pedro Acosta from 5th place, the middle of the second row. He's right in the mix and he's right up for the fight. But Sam did manage to destroy him in Jerez.
Yeah, he did that in Jerez, but Pedro Acosta actually yesterday was hampered in the qualifying. There was a red flag in his best lap, so 5th on the grid for him is not really quite, his race pace is much better than that. So yeah, I mean, I think we're going to have a duel. For me, we're going to have the first, great battle in between potentially the two challengers for the championship, which are Sam Lowes and Pedro Acosta. Arbolino, though, is making inroads, and he's looking at Sam's data, obviously, same team, and he's not going to want his teammate in front of him, so Arbolino's going to take big risks, but I think he could make a mistake in that race.
Let's find out if Sam is up for the task then, is with Nat.
Yeah, Sam, another stunning lap in qualifying yesterday. How strong do you feel? What do you think your chances are in this one?
Yeah, it was nice to get another pole position, but I feel good. I feel like we have a chance. It's going to be a closer race than Jerez. There's a few guys with good pace, but me as well. And Le Mans always a technical race, lots of overtaking opportunities, and quite a tight circuit normally. So yeah, just get off the start, make a good first few laps, see where we are, and if I'm in the front, make a nice rhythm. If I'm in a battle, have fun with that, and see at the end. But it's nice weather. I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks, Sam.
Cheers.
And getting that rhythm, Neil, how important is that around this track? Because it can be a bit of a wrecking ball of a track. If you make one tiny mistake, it just ruins everything, doesn't it?
Yeah, you've got those hairpin corners, garage there, it's sort of downhill off camber. If someone makes a pass on you into there, you can be pushed wide. I think the secret to getting into a rhythm is surviving the first lap. If you can get that first lap, I'm talking about Sam, if you can get off the start, get clear track in front of him, get one clean lap, that's going to be key to him getting into that rhythm. Sorry, but I feel because he did that in Jerez, now everyone's aware of it. So when you know someone's got the potential to do that, you are more, let's say, encouraged to pull a hard pass on him to prevent him from getting that rhythm. So yeah, it's not going to be as easy for Sam, definitely not.
Yep. Well, we were looking. It's coming through our shot. Pedro Acosta, who we've been talking about on the second row then of the grid. We have talked about Pedro, what he's seen from some, and the fact that he should have been on the front row of the grid here. Alongside him, Cele Vieto and Filip Salac, who we just slightly missed out on there. So Filip Salac, you know, having an interesting season this year.
Yeah, and he was looking good in the practice as well. So, you know, Salac, he will be on for a podium. Has he got Acosta and Sam's space? I'm not quite sure, but he will be in the fight for the podium.
OK, let's find out then what Jake Dixon is thinking. He's going from 8th today.
Jake, I know you wanted to be a bit further up the grid, but third row certainly no disaster. It sounds like it's not really been a straightforward weekend for you.
No, it's not been straightforward, but hey, it's racing. I'm sure it's not straightforward for a lot of the guys. So, yeah, we're here. Let's see what we can do. Yeah, I'm just going to get stuck in and see what happens.
What's been the issue?
I've just struggled a little bit for time around it. Actually, I'm better than I was last year. I made a few mistakes than I did to my time last year in qualifying, and if I'd have done that, I could have been on the front row. But yeah, I just need to rectify that, and yeah, it'll be all right.
Thanks, Jake.
Cheers.
Neil, listening intently to that interview, what do you make of what Jake said there?
Yeah, I've not had a chance to catch up with him properly this weekend, so let's say it's slightly lower down than what I expected, 8th. Yeah, I can tell he's flustered there with that interview, as well as in something's not clicking at the moment, and it's tough. It's so Moto2. He expects more. He's put himself into maybe a little bit too much pressure. I think that could be going on at the moment.
OK, well, he wanted to be on the front row. There is Jake. He wanted to be up there with Alonso Lopez, and we can hear from Lopez now.
Okay. Alonso, great Saturday for you, brilliant qualifying. How good would it be to pick up some points around this famous Le Mans circuit?
Yeah, it would be amazing. I am really confident with myself and with the bike to this race, and let's see what we are gonna do. But it's gonna be a third race. Sam, Tony, and Pedro have a very good piece, so let's see what they are gonna do. But very happy about my piece and my feeling with the bike.
Thank you, Alonso.
Thank you.
Strong rider Alonso Lopez going from the front row today. Somkat Chantra going from the third row. Really good around here.
Yeah, could be a danger, and he comes on as well during the races. So with the temperatures actually picking up and the conditions being very good, they're gonna have to manage those tires a little bit, you know, and save them for the end of the race. So we know Chantra is very good at doing that. So yeah, probably you know, in the fight for top 5 and maybe a podium.
If you've got eagle eyes, you would have seen Fabio Quartararo talking to Jake just a minute ago on the grid, having whizzed past us. I don't know how he got there so quickly, actually. But Nat's also been eagle-eyed, and she caught up with Fabio.
But Fabio, I know you'll be keeping a close eye on Tony and also Jake as well. What words of advice have you given them ahead of the race?
Yeah, just stay to keep calm. They are fast, so hopefully they can be both on the podium today.
Thanks, Fabio.
Thank you.
Oh, Neil, he's just basically saying that Natalie looks really small next to
Small.
Fabio.
Yeah, she ain't that small.
She is
What?
small.
She's not that small.
Nat is small.
I think Fabio had high heels on.
Well, he might have done. He's not racing till later.
That was funny.
All right, that's the scene then here in Le Mans, and we've talked about pretty much the first 3 rows, really. Let's go on to the 4th row, which is led by Barry Baltus.
Yeah, tell you what, Barry Baltus this weekend just looked good, looked fast and consistent, but into turn 1, he's the only rider that goes like basically off the edge of the track. It's a massive risk. It's about 170 miles an hour part of the track, but he seems to gain time through it. So keep your eye out for Barry Baltus in turn 1 using all the road. He goes on the outside of the curb. I would never do that, Sylvain, would you?
Oh no, they are really dangerous. He's on the attack this weekend. He's got. I caught up with Xavier Simeon, his trainer, manager type of thing in the track, and he had the visit as well of Jackie Hicks. He's Belgium, obviously legend, and they had a chat. And it's always nice when you can get inspired by some legend like that. And he basically told him, mate, you're there. You need to get stuck in. You need.
Is that what
you
he
can
said?
do this. That's what he said.
Mate.
Yeah. That's what
Yeah.
he said. Yeah.
I love the technical side of it. Mate, you need to get stuck in. That's the advice you always get from your mates at the pub, innit? You're like, You clearly
That's how
don't.
it works.
That's your
Yeah, that's
Formula
how it
1
works.
driver, you see, that's how they work. He's got good company alongside him, Fermin Aldeguer and Albert Arenas.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aldeguer with the Bosco chassis as well. So that chassis seems to work quite well here. Well, it was working for Lopez anyway on the front row, and I think that chassis as well, being a bit like stiffer because it's a bit of a stop and go track, could work quite well.
Yeah, what about Albert?
Albert, he's in the pressure's starting to build on Albert because he's had a steady start to the season. He's been in the top 10, but he's been 8th, 9th. You join the IO Moto2 team, you're expected to be battling, being on the podium week in, week out. So I just feel like the pressure's going to start to build. We're at round 5, and that team expects more. So yeah, he needs to pull his finger out basically.
You never know, do you, really? When you look at Bo Ben Schneider, who's had a fantastic result this season. It's a little bit upside down, depending on the tracks. But our second race of the day, then, the first one was an absolute belter, wasn't it? Moto3. If you haven't seen that, you need to go and have a look. But Sam Lowes is in pole position for this, and we cannot wait. Michael Laverty is sitting alongside Gavin Emmett. Here we go again, fellas.
Yeah, fingers crossed again up here in the commentary booth as we get ready. Our front row, Arbolino, Lopez and Lowes. Keep an eye on Pedro Acosta. He starts from...
Yep, here we go then. What is going to be today's Moto2 Grand Prix of France is now. It's the French Grand Prix for Moto2 here at the Le Mans Bugatti circuit. It's Sam Lowes on pole position. Alonso Lopez is second. Tony Albarino starts third. Then we see Philippe Salac alongside Pietro Acosta and Tristano Vietti. Somcat Chantra starts seventh with Jake Dixon in eighth. Manuel Gonzalez is ninth. Barry Boltus is 10th. Fermin Aldeguer is 11th. Albarinas 12th. Aaron Canet 13th. Bo Ben Schneider is 14th. Lucas Tuvelik is in 15th, Ayagura 16th, Joe Roberts 17th on the grid as well, and 18th for Sergio Garcia. 19th on the grid for Sean Dillon Kelly, 20th for Jeremy Alcoba, 21st for Marcos Ramirez, 22nd Santa van der Golsberg, 23rd Dennis Roger, 24th for Senna Aguirres, 25th for Lorenzo Dalla Porta, 26th on the grid as well. Coming up on the screen, that is going to be for Rory Skinner. Boa Gomez will not start this race in 27th. He's retired on the outlap as you heard from Susie and Neil. Ivan Gotola, Alex East Craig is 29th on the field. Away we go then on the formation lap for Moto2. And like Moto3, we've actually got the systems sorted for Moto2 this weekend, where we can have all the riders open and the rider tracker at the bottom of your screen for the race control information. So we'll have that fixed for Moto3 next time out, which will be a highlight show. So will Moto2 thanks to Le Mans. So we'll get that fixed for Le Mans as well. But hopefully Moto2 is going to be even better. Can't wait for this. Let's check in with Omi. Omi, you've never seen a Moto2 race either, but you're looking forward to it, seeing what it's going to be. It's basically like Formula 2, effectively, the same style. Leaders check out, and then we have to basically watch to see if anyone's tyres are going to fall off.
Yep, looking forward to it. It'll probably be a bit less interesting than Moto3, but still it's hopefully going to be a banger. And maybe, you never know, we could be getting a very exciting one if there's a bit of drama, which I hope there is some kind of drama to keep us all entertained. And yeah, so I think it's going to be a great one, though. I still think it's going to be exciting. Still, I think it's going to have a lot of action. But I think it's just going to be a bit less exciting than Moto3, from what I've heard from you.
Yeah,
so I'm relying on you.
Yeah, it's not going to be as great as the Moto3 race we just had. It's going to be very, very good, but it's turns you've got to talk a lot more and think of a lot of strategy. So nice to have you around as well watching. And there's the championship. Look at that. Pietro Acosta and Tony Albarino level on points coming into this one. 74 points apiece. And Canat 22 back on that one as well. Albarino starts third. Acosta starts fifth. There's a lot on the line here. And Britain's Sam Lowes, local lad to me, Lincoln lad, just 50 minutes down the road from where I am in the commentary box. Can he get a second win of the season and his 11th win in Moto2? I've commentated on them all. There goes the 37 of Pedro Acosta. He lines up in 5th position as well. Tony Albarino in 3rd, now comes up as well. Teammate Sam Lowe's on pole. Alonso Lopez in the centre of the picture as well. Moto2 gets the green flag for the 1000th Grand Prix. Moto2's 5th round of the season is under starters' orders with 5 red lights. Drop the clutch and let's go! Good start from Sam Lowe's, and immediately from Alonso Lopez having a bit of a wheelie, has to come over to defend from Tony Arbolino. Lowe's loses it in the middle of the turn 1. He's lost out down to 3rd position. Tony Arbolino leads, but for how long? Alonso Lopez up the inside of the chicane, can't get through, and now Sam Lowe's in a battle with Pedro Acosta, 3 wide as one of the gas gets him in there. Gomez starting from the pit lane has got going as well. That's the news from race control. Down to La Chapelle once again. Alonso Lopez, despite not having the best start, leads here at Le Mans. Tony Arbolino second, Sam Lowe's down to 3rd position. Pedro Acosta's passed Femina Agura and has got up then. He's also passed Philip Salak. Salak started 4th. He has dropped down to 7th position. Vietti started 6th, has dropped down to 8th. Bad start from everybody on the rows as well. Unbelievable stuff. Now, what's happened here? Sean Dillon Kelly has... Dennis Fodge has passed Artegas. Sean Dillon Kelly's dropped down to 22nd position. No jump starts, though, at the moment. And Tony Arbolino immediately hunting at the forward as Garcia passes Dixon. Gets Garcia and Dixon past Joe Roberts. Igura passes Tuvalak. Dillon Kelly passes Isaac Guevara as well as we come into the chicane in this blues for the first time. So Sam Lowe's is staying on the back of his teammate and he's defending from Pietro Acosta. Yellow flag, sectors 3 and 4. So is it Lucas Tuvalak? Not too sure why we've got a yellow flag out there. Look at Tony Arbolino though on the inside. And Arbolino takes the lead back from Alonso Lopez. Lopez going on the AstroTurf. We get a warning for that for track limit. Sam's crashed! Sam's crashed! Huge accident down into the chicane and Dunlop. It won't be a double for Great Britain. Sam Lowe's has crashed out at turn 2. He's okay. The bike's in the gravel. And that is a bitter disappointment. The winner in Spain, the pole sitter, is down on lap 2. And now that puts also... Oh, huge accident! This will be a red flag, and it is a red flag to stop the race. Huge accident in the middle of the field. And I think it's Baltus, it's Garcia. Huge accident in the Moto2 race. This will stop it. And because when we're inside 2 laps, Gonzalez has crashed out. It's a big one there. Where's the red flags? I'd be very surprised if this won't be stopped. Gonzalez, Arenas and Canat, 3 riders down as Arbolino passes Lopez for the lead. Coming into S Blues, Lopez comes back on the inside line and Arbolino's in there too. So is Pietro Acosta. Lopez goes off and Acosta goes on the green as well to come back on the inside because Femina Agura. Some Cat Chancher's in there too. Well, there's no sign of the red flag, but I can't believe there isn't one. Huge accident with everyone everywhere, but no sign of the red flag. It's a good sign so far that we haven't needed it, but we will keep an eye out. It's Aaron Canet, Albert Arenas, and Manuel Gonzalez in a huge accident coming out of La Chapelle. The race continues with yellow flags in sectors 1 and 2. We're green to go through, no overtaking. They're going to have to red flag this. They're going to have to. There's bikes everywhere. Has to be red flag. It's not happening yet. Acosta's into 2nd position. Lopez back in front. And they're approaching the zone with all this debris. And we've got no red flag. Red flag. Race has stopped. It had to be. It had to get stopped. The Moto2 French Grand Prix is red flagged. Now we've completed less than 3 laps. So this should be a total restart, which means that Sam Lowe's might be able to get back in. Are we going to go from original grid positions? That's the key thing. But Arbolino now, well, we're on lap 3. We've completed 2. So we'll take a look. But red flag is out here at Le Mans due to a multi-rider crash at turn 5. All riders are still there being treated. And I don't really want to see this replay, but we're going to. Oh, and it's a collection as well. The first rider down was Albert Arenas as well, and he gets collected by Gonzalez, who's got nowhere to go, jumps over the bike, and Aaron Canet as well smashes into him. On board with Canet. Look, he's got nowhere to go. Oh, so it's Albert Arenas goes down, and the bike, oh, that's a huge accident for Manuel Gonzalez. Gonzalez flies up in the air and hits his back twice. The new race will be 14 laps in length, we've been told, so the race will now be reduced. But Manuel Gonzalez, I think there, and Aaron Canet. Aaron Canet's up, so he's conscious. That's great news. But I'm more worried about Manuel Gonzalez. I'm trying to look around to see if he's standing up. I'm not seeing anything at the moment, but Manuel Gonzalez there, launched up in the air. The bike somersaulted as he did. Gonzalez, mid-air, flipped 3 times, hit the gravel, once with his shoulder, once with his neck, and then hit the gravel a 3rd time with his torso as well. There is Albert Arenas. He was the first to go down. He is okay and on the way back to the pit lane. So Arenas went down, Gonzalez hit the bike. All riders are conscious, and that is brilliant news from what we've been told by race direction. All riders conscious, and now I really hope that Gonzalez is okay. The race is being restarted with a 14-lap race, so everyone's now being repositioned. It will be, I believe, original grid position, so Sam Lowes might be able to restart this because less than 3 laps were completed. It will be a total restart. So Sam Lowes can restart this race. If they can get that bike back, I think it can be him coming in. And that is Manuel Gonzalez on the back of the motorcycle. And that is an absolute miracle. He somersaulted 3 times in the air, landed on his shoulder and his neck, and is okay on the back of a motorcycle. So all riders, I think, Naomi, have had a miraculous escape.
Yeah, you hate to see when the cars, bikes. Well, we've got to get used to that one, don't we?
Yes.
We hate to see it when the bikes go up in the air. Luckily, they're all okay, and it did look like. So when I first saw it, I thought there was going to be some injuries, but luckily everyone is okay. But a massive crash, and it's just when one loses it, everyone just collects it. And with how close everyone is running behind each other, it was always going to happen. So it's an unfortunate crash. Luckily, though, everyone is okay. That's the main thing, and the race will obviously be reduced. But we'll get back, and good news for Lowes though as well, because he might be able to get back in this now.
I'm just taking a look. I don't think there's that much damage to the bike. It did somersault, but I don't think there's that much wrong with it, if with anything. So Sam Lowes might be able to restart this one as well. We've restarted. It will be 14 laps to the new distance with original grid position. So Sam Lowes effectively will be on pole again with Lopez Albarino front row. So all that work that Lopez and Albarino did gets neutered. And the great start to the Moto2 race, well, I said it was going to be less dramatic. I didn't expect this. Nobody expected this. The craziest race of the year so far. So now the stewards are now deciding whether or not we can have a bike return, because there is no second bikes in Moto2. It's a 1-bike series. So Sam Lowes has got to get it back in to see if we restart this. 14 laps total. Let's hand over to BT Sport then, as we're on to this red flag period.
To bring it back, that's the point that we're making.
Has to bring the bike back, so I don't think Sam Lowes is going to get it.
I don't think Sam Lowes is going to be taking part in this restarted race. 14 laps it's going to be. Tony Arbolino down there. There'll be a sense of frustration there, Arbolino, having hit the front and had a little bit of a gap behind him.
Yeah, he had a nice little cushion thanks to the mistake from Alonso Lopez. So yeah, there's the bike being making its way back down pit lane, but you can see a broken screen, so it has landed on the top, which usually takes a little bit of work. The master cylinders and both sides, clutch and brake.
Sam Lowes is eligible. He is eligible. He can, we talked about this last time. It's not the 5-minute rule that you'd have later on in the race when it's red flagged. It's a new race restart. So if they can get this back and they've got all the bits and bobs waiting, and Sam Lowes is okay to go, he can go again. Here, the pit lane, however, opens in 2 minutes, and it opens for a minute.
That's not Stephen Bradley and the boys are going to be going full gas down there, but they need a fare and they need a seat unit, and obviously that's a supported seat unit, so it is a full subframe on the back of the machine. So that's a bit of work to fit it all in just 2 minutes.
This is it's the front's folded on him in such a strange way. Yeah, you see the bike jumping through. He doesn't know what's happened, Michael.
No. Yeah, those type of crashes usually happen in the wet. They are really a surprise when they catch you out like that. So yeah.
Well, the interesting news here is that all riders are now eligible for the restart. That includes Sam Lowes. So Lowes can effectively have a go and restart this race.
Sure. You know what? Earlier on this
It's back.
weekend, Sam
It's
Lowes
back in
had
the
2
pit lane.
crashes,
Brilliant.
and the Tony Arbolino's side of the garage got involved to build his bike.
And it looks like the same's happening again. So actually, yeah, you need to nose cone. It looks like there's actually the seat unit only needs a rear cone at the back, not the full subframe. So yeah, that saves them a bit of time.
Look at all the different mechanics are being given various jobs by Gilles Bigot. Someone's job is to get those tyres replaced. Someone's job is to check all the brakes. Another one, the fairing on the left. Another one, the fairing on the right. Get all the gravel out of it at the same time. I'm not sure it's going to happen here. Mark VDS will be working on that bike in a minute.
Mark is in there, ready to spin a few spanners if need be. But yeah, sometimes too many people can get in the mix. That's why Gilles, he's stood back and he's coordinating, so making sure there's not too many hands on there and they're tripping over each other.
My question is, where's Sam? Where's Lowes himself? You know, where has he got to? Has he had to go to the medical centre? So we're being told Natalie was down there and she'd seen the leathers manufacturers, Ixon, have brought him a new set of leathers down to the truck.
Yeah, he was obviously looked okay when he was gesticulating what had happened when he was laid by the gravel trap. So I think he's okay. But the speed of the crash, it could damage the suit to the hole in the suit potentially. So yeah, Ixon just ready in a spare one.
This was the start. Look at Sam Lowes, got a lot off the line well, didn't he? But it was just here.
Yeah. Clicking second gear and into third, you can see Arbolino and Alonso just swallowed Sam Lowes up in the run to turn 1. But yeah, he done well to recover it back onto the rear wheel of his teammate into turn 3.
Look at Jake Dixon in the middle of the pack. This is where there's a little bit of contact now. It's from the outside, isn't it? Was it Aaron Canet?
Yeah, he and Canet making contact on the exit of the chicane.
There's, you see Dixon just in the back of shot here.
This is on board with
Arbolino. Oh no, Alonso Lopez, right. You'll see suddenly Tony Arbolino's bike will appear in the left of shot. There it is. As they file through, and further back there was contact. Just have a look in the Google. Philip Salach there was a bit of a roadblock, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was struggling to get the bike stopped. Here we watch this on the outside from Canet and Dixon.
So Jake has to pick up a little bit for Gonzalez, which puts him into the side of Aaron Canet. But yeah, the problem did start on entry to the chicane, so he had nowhere to go, Jake this is, and had to move to the right side of Philip Salach's rear wheel, and then it just meant he got balked. And yes, so many, whenever you're trying to fit 30 Moto2 bikes through that chicane, it is.
So it's a quick restart procedure that starts at 12:34 local time. The pit lane exit is to be open for 60 seconds only ahead of sighting lap. Original grid positions, new race distance is 14 laps. So Sam Lowes, they've got, how long? They've got 3 minutes to repair that bike before the pit lane is open for 1 minute. If they can do it, they will. And let's hope that Sam can get out there, out on the track.
I'm sure that's going to happen in 3 minutes, Michael.
Also, Aaron Canet has been taken to the medical centre for checkups.
Structurally is sound, and they've checked everything. You can see handlebars had to be replaced. Then getting the fairing on does only really take a minute. Obviously, it's a pressure scenario, though.
I wonder what Jake Dixon will be going through here, because he knows, actually, on that first part of the race, had been knocked down all the way to about 13th, 14th position on that opening lap, and you get another go at it. So how does that sit with you as a rider?
Yeah, good. Whenever things haven't gone well in lap 1, you get another opportunity. So hopefully he gets a good jump off the line, doesn't lose those positions on the run through turns 1 and 2. So yeah, he has another crack at it if he can get away with the lead bunch this time.
I thought that Aldeguer looked good at the start there. Maybe he'll fade later on in the race, but it's an excellent start for him. He'll be extremely frustrated.
Yeah, he had made a really good lap 1, made a lot of places, and then with the mistake from his teammate, he was in podium contention.
Oh, they're getting the fairings back on now. They know they've got a couple of minutes to go, 2 minutes. So done what they can, just no rider at the moment.
Yeah, Sam's not back in the garage yet, which, yeah. At this point, it looks like they'll make it, so they can
Amazing
see
job.
The handlebars all getting torqued and checked, and the fairings going on, the nose cones on there, get the side panels on, belly pan on, and yeah, wheels are in, so I think the bike will be ready. It's now Sam Lowe's we await.
Alberto Arenas, he won't be taking part because his bike was absolutely destroyed in that crash. And here he comes quickly. Sam Lowe's coming back, and he needs to run into the garage. Yep, new set of leathers for him. Well, this is the first race, well, the second race of his day, isn't it?
Yeah, he's about to start race 3, so he needs to get in there, get his earplugs in,
That's
helmet
good.
on,
Well
gloves
done.
on. So he's got 2 minutes essentially, but also you have to include the run down pit lane before the red light comes on. So as soon as the pit lane's open, you only have that single minute to get out.
I would hurry up.
So a quick word with Gilles down there.
Oh, it's getting tight now.
And it will be a bit of whatever happens. I was trying to just listen in, but couldn't really hear anything, could we? Well, for whatever happens, fair play to the Mark VDS squad for working together.
They've been brilliant
to get that bike ready for Sam Lowe's. He's been given another opportunity to have a go here. Almost certainly that bike isn't going to feel like it would normally.
I tell you what, you're sometimes surprised how well the mechanics can work under pressure, and you can head out pit lane and everything feels
30
like
seconds.
It's back and it's in line exactly as it was before the crash.
Pedro Acosta, as always, staying calm. I'll never forget that race. Remember back in Austin when he flew through the air, 100 metres through the air.
So the pit lane is going to reopen for the distance in 7 seconds' time. The red flag has been rescinded. We're waiting for the green light to go out. And the pit lane is now open for 60 seconds with a quick restart procedure. Tony Alberino is fired up. Now they only have 1 minute to get out of the pit lane. Can he get out there? Oh, and Alberino stored the bike in the pressure. Alberino stored the bike. Now anybody who doesn't leave the pit lane will have to start the race from the pit lane. So Sam might take that option. All bikes are eligible, but 38 seconds. That bike has fired up. The bike has fired up. I do not believe it. 30 seconds to go. Can they get it out? This is a big pressure now. They've done it. Oh, boys, you are brilliant. Pit lane's going to close in 20 seconds. Sam, get on the bike. It takes time to get out. 19 seconds. They're all 14, 13, 12. They're not going to make it. They're not going to make it. They are not going to make it. 9 seconds. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The pit lane, he's missed it. He's missed it. I don't believe it. He's missed it. Oh. He'll have to start from the pit lane. I don't believe it. Sam's going to have to start the race from the pit, but oh, that was so close. And that's because he was talking. It's his fault. It's that man's their fault. I don't believe it. This minute restart procedure needs to change. It really does. Sam's now going to start from the pit lane. Can he go out? No, he can't go out. Oh.
Nicky Crichton there.
Sam Lowe start the warm-up for the pit lane and the race at the back of the grid. Wow.
They say there's no tyre warmers allowed. No tyre warmers on the grid. Would he be allowed them not in pit lane?
Yeah, if he'd stayed in his garage, he could have waited, and then as they left the grid, which, because the rest of the field are out there and they're scrubbing the tyres each corner, so they're keeping the temperature in them, Sam has to wait for 2.5 minutes or more with no warmers on, so he has
I don't think that was right, Omi. This 1 minute needs to change because it's too long to get out the pit lane. The rule should be if you leave your pit garage within the minute, you can leave the pit lane. That rule needs changing.
Yeah, it does. Because, well, they finished everything. They finished all the work, but it does need to change. And now you're just going to have to start from the pit lane. Yeah, very unfortunate. Because he just missed out by a few seconds, and now he's going to have to start from the pit lane instead. So really unfortunate. The rule does need to change.
So the sighting lap has been completed. Sam Lowe is going to start this race then for the back of the grid. Your new pole sitter will be Alonso Lopez with Tony Alberino. And it'll be Philip Salak, Pedro Acosta, Cino Vietti. So Sam Lowe's, they've got the bike repaired, but now it's going to start from the back of the grid. So this will be the start of the second warm-up lap ahead of us here. It will not be the normal start of lights out, race on. It will be the parade as they come through now. Green flag at the back, all is clear, and the formation lap is underway here for the French Grand Prix. The race should have been over by now. That's how crazy it is. 14 lap sprint then for Moto2. We should finish around about 10 minutes later. Sam Lowes can now leave the pit lane, but he's going to have to start the race from the back of the grid. So let's see what fight back he can do. Sam Lowes now starts it, but I'll tell you what, Omi, the Elf Mark VDS boys, amazing to get that bike repaired within 10 minutes. Amazing.
Yeah, amazing, but so unfortunately they won't get their reward from starting right at the front, and instead they have to, they're gonna have to be in the pit lane, but but at least he's still gonna get to be out there, but still very disappointing. The rule does need to change, but still, great work by them, and they all work so hard to make sure that he can race, and he gets a second chance. So let's hope everything goes right. But the question is, what can he actually do now from the back? Because if he just a few seconds, if he was able to leave a few seconds earlier, he would have been on pole with maybe a chance of a win. But now he's at the back, so it's going to be interesting to see what he can do from the back. But it's going to be also an interesting battle at the front. Let's hope this is exciting with the racing, but no more crashes, because we have now lost a lot of time with that red flag. So let's hope we're going to get a lot of racing action, but not much crashing.
If we do go red again within the first 3 laps, then Sam Lowes will have another opportunity to start from pole positions, because it'll reset once again to the original grid position. So the Mark VDS team might be hoping for another red flag, because then the bike will be completed and they can start from pole position again. It's reminding me a lot of David Coulthard back at the Italian Grand Prix in 1995 for Formula 1, where he crashed on the formation lap, but the red flag came out and he was able to jump in the spare car and start from the pit lane. Start from the pole position after starting the first race from the pit lane. So fingers crossed. Right, take 2 for Moto2's French Grand Prix, the 5th round of the season. Sam Lowes giving a thumb up there to Rory Skinner, as he now lines up in 31st position, ironically enough, at the back of the field. It'll be Alonso Lopez who will be on effective pole position, with Tony Arbolino in 2nd place. Right, let's have another go. Take 2 of the French Grand Prix is go! Good start from Arbolino. Lopez gets a good getaway this time, but he's going to be on the outside coming in towards turn number 1. But it's going to be Arbolino who sweeps into the front. Pedro Acosta takes 3rd position. Oh, nearly one there in the middle of the track as well. That's going to be Zonta van der Gorsberg, who has got swiped out into the chicane. Do we get through cleanly this time? Yes. As they exit, Sam Lowes already going on the inside there. Vaizan Gortola as they come down La Chapelle into turn 6 now for the first time on this restarted race on lap 1 of 14. Arbolino leads, Lopez is in 2nd, Acosta 3rd, Salak 4th, Vietti 5th as we come into Museum as well. Then it's going to be Vietti, Argura, Jake Dixon's up to 7th as well. Argura making a few places up there on the track as well as they come down into Garage Viet. So, this is what we were worried about. Arbolino now is going to start checking out the front. He's already won 2 races this season as well. Arbolino won, at Argentina as well. It's going to be, it was 2 wins for Acosta. Then it's Arbolino who won. He's got the championship lead as well as the running order as well, with Pedro Acosta level on points. Sam Lowes now is up in positions, as we see on the Mark VDS team as well. Sam is in 25th position, Omi, so he's already made up some places and no jump starts. But good start there, and everyone got around lap 1 cleanly, but it's lap 2, that's sort of the danger zone.
Let's hope they continue to get through cleanly. But yeah, I can already notice about what you're talking about that the gaps are spreading much more spread out than Moto3 was. So we're on lap 2, and we might be getting a move here already for 2nd.
Yeah, Acosta up the inside, taking Lopez sweetly, but Lopez isn't going to say goodnight just yet. Late on the brakes coming into the 4th chicane. Acosta's going to get the cut back as we swap out between Vietti in 5th position. That's not what we need to be seeing. Acosta has taken 2nd position down to La Chapelle, and Lopez goes out wide. Acosta takes 2nd position and nearly loses it, just like what happened with Albert Arenas, his teammate. Pedro Acosta almost had an accident there coming out, and now that's left him under pressure a bit as Salak has joined the party as well at the back of Lopez. as they come into the braking zone. Alberino leads, Acosta to second, and the top two in the championship are 1-2. We have a race on here as they come through. Gap behind is 0.6 of a second. Alberino's being told on his control monitor as well as they hurtle down out of Garage Viert into the Ox Booze 9 and 10. And the gap's now starting to increase. Samlo's up to 23rd position as Gonzalez, Arenas and Canat have not taken the restart. We knew they weren't, but it's now been made official because the bikes did get back within 10 minutes of the red flag. So the likes of Aaron Canat, whose bikes wasn't actually that big destroyed, he couldn't restart because he's been taken to the medical centre. Albert Arenas' bike was completely destroyed, and Manuel Gonzalez's bike is now being sold for scrap as they exit the last corner of Recruitment and across the line. Alberino with a 1:36.257 sets the fastest lap of the race so far. The lap record here for Moto2 in terms of racing is a 1:36.276. So we are already faster than that with a new race lap record. There is Manuel Gonzalez as well in the pit lane, and that is great to see him, Omi, that he is A-OK.
Yep, great to see he is okay. He's now going to watch with us. But, yeah. So already the drivers spreading out. A few drivers getting very close. And a few of these little slides are scaring me a bit that we're about to get crashed. So let's hope they can all keep it together. And very easy to make a mistake, yep.
Lopez doing exactly that, a little slide into, where is that? That's at Museum, isn't it? Now into Garage Viet. So Philip Salak is in fourth position on the number 12 Line Tech Speed Up, sorry, on the QJ Motor Greneshi Moto2 bike. It's Alonso Lopez on the Light Tech Speed Up, the Neo livery of yellow flashing up on the monitors as well, making it quite easy to see as they come into the braking zone for the 9 and 10 chicane. So now they are just sort of easing off a little, but the only good thing about having the race reduced is this originally was supposed to be scheduled for 22 laps. We're down to 14, which means the tyres are only doing 16 laps, which means the fuel load you can push like mad, the tyres you can push like mad, which means we're going to see a much more interesting race here as Jake Dixon, the other lad from Great Britain, in a battle with Chantra and Barry Boltus, as well as Joe Roberts, and that's the 35 of Chantra coming through. Rider conscious, but Aaron Cannon has been taken to the medical centre for a checkup. We know that. Medical information now telling us that as well. As we come into the braking zone, Somkat Chantra trying to go on the inside of the 54th. Feminai Aguirre not going to work out as well. Vietti staying in front. Dixon's in this battle as well. Down La Chapelle. A little bit wide there, and that's going to be capitalised as we see a new race lap record for Acosta, 1:36.068. Meantime, that's Salak passing Lopez for third, but more interestingly, as they'll look at Lopez again, almost having a high side mid-corner. More interestingly, look at that, Chantra's passed Aguirre. So Chantra's now up into 6th position, chasing after Vietti. That's the little change that's happened in the middle of the field. 11 laps to go then here in Moto2. As we hurtle back down into the braking zone. The 37 of Acosta is holding back. Let's take a replay of the move for third position then. Alonso Lopez goes very deep into La Chapelle, and Philip Salak just sort of dive bombs on the inside line. So a nice little easy move there as well, as Alberino is starting to be caught by his championship rival Pietro Acosta, who is on the attack mode as well. Into Recruitment. There's a battle further back as well. Let's check in on Sam Lowes. He's up into 21st position. He's now behind Rory Skinner in 20th position as well. Rory Skinner, I'm just double checking on my notes here in the 33 as well. Coming from Great Britain as well, in Perth. So one of the three Brits on the grid, they're two riding together as we see Lopez trying to go on the inside of Salak into the Ford chicane. Not working out there. We'll have to try something else then as they come under the Dunlop Bridge. As we come into turn number 6 of La Chapelle. So the race now starting to calm down on lap 5 of the 14 after a red flag early on. This is the restarted race. There is Albert Arenas. He is perfectly all right, which is great news. He was the right... Oh, no! That is Petro Acosta, who has crashed out of the Grand Prix. The joint championship leader. He runs to his bike to pick it up, but it has done a somersault, and he is out with broken handlebars and aero screen. The championship leader is out, and Rory Skinner has crashed flashed out as well. Arenas, and now he's just in the pit lane. We were watching him when it happened. Pedro Acosta drops the front. The bike somersaults down at the museum corner. And the championship lead goes to Tony Alberino, who, if he wins this, the gap will be 25 points. A crucial mistake at a crucial turning point in the championship. Acosta is out. Alberino can ride smoothly for the rest of the race. And Rory Skinner's gone down at La Chapelle. And he's okay. Well, that changed Omi, didn't it, in a split second? That's Moto2.
Yeah, easily anything can happen, and exactly what Tony wants, but a dramatic change in the championship standings now it will be, and a costly mistake there as well. So really unfortunate for him, but Tony's now going to be taking victory, and he's going to be happy with that. I think we're getting a move as well.
Yeah, Dixon made a mistake coming out of the chicane at the top of the Dunlop Hill, and he just had to defend from Barry Bolters. I don't think Bolters has made the move on Dixon. He hasn't, so I'll let you continue your speech if you've got any.
Yep, so obviously as you were speaking earlier about less laps of the drivers pushing more, it also increases the chance of a mistake. So all of the drivers pushing more, it can result in more mistakes, obviously them trying to gain position. So it's kind of risk versus reward if they just want to settle in for a position or if they want to go for more. So we can easily get mistakes by the drivers. So they gotta choose if they want to just secure some points, or would they or do they want to go forward. But there is always that chance that there's a mistake and they could find themselves scoring nothing.
And that's what exactly has happened, unfortunately, for Pedro Acosta. He had a 5-point gap in the championship that he was a disadvantage to because they came in, Alberino. Oh, hang on, Dixon's up into 6th position. Dixon has passed Feminai Aguirre as well. But Pedro Acosta, they came in level on World Championship points. Here, Acosta and Alberino. Alberino was leading. The gap would have been 5 points only in the championship standings. As they leave this now, they leave 25 points apart. Unless Alberino crashes, then we end it level as they come through. Oh, and East Craig has come into the pit lane as well, as Garcia has passed Roberts for 9th position. Oh, and Feminai Aguirre in 7th position has been given a long lap penalty. So Aguirre will have to take the long lap route down at turn 8. So that'll drop him outside of this little battle, unfortunately, with 7th. And the reason for Aguirre's long lap penalty is a shortcut at turn 9. So there's the confirmation of the penalty. Acosta's now apparently walking back to the pit lane. He's now got a scooter, I'm being informed as well. As Mr. Cray 123 says, apparently everyone is conscious from that crash. Hopefully no serious injuries. We've seen Aaron Canet, we've seen Manuel Gonzalez, and we hope Aaron Canet, who we saw was sitting up, who's been taken to the medical centre for checks, is okay as well. We'll bring you the information throughout the day here, as after Moto2 we are live with MotoGP as well. There will be a break because there should have been an hour's break between the racing on track between Moto2 and MotoGP. That's now been reduced, I understand, to 45 minutes, which means we'll be off air for around about half an hour before coming back on air for the MotoGP 1000th Grand Prix bonanza here for the French Grand Prix. Hopefully that's going to be a very entertaining Grand Prix as well. You're watching the race leaders, Tony Alberino, who really just need to score, what, a maximum of 1 point. So he can drop down to 15th and still take the championship lead himself. But he wants this race win. He knows anything could happen in Moto2 in this championship year. So he wants this win, and he's going to have to battle Philip Salak for it. Half a second exactly separates them in the first sector. Alonso Lopez is holding on as well. He's in 3rd position and closing in fast with 7 to go. We're halfway in this restarted Moto2 French Grand Prix, the 1000th MotoGP event. As they come in, there's Jake Dixon in 6th position. Has Igo taken the long lap penalty? I don't think he has, because I think we're looking at him now. Yeah, he hasn't. There's Pedro Acosta, the Moto3 World Champion of 2021. Oh, and He just punched the side of the other thing there, actually. But his team congratulating him. It wasn't his fault. It was a simple error. I'm just glad he's okay. Crash at this track, it's incredibly dangerous. Here it is, actually. Look, the front, mid-corner, as soon as he touches the brake and turns in, bike was drifting out wide, and he just lets go on him into the gravel trap, somersaults 4 times himself, and the bike was going up and up and up as well. It almost achieved lift-off velocity. Let's take a listen. So when he crashed... Brake, brake. And there it was. Acosta back in the garage then. Alboreto leading now by just 0.4 of a second to Salak. That's closing by 10th per lap as well. Salak is putting the pressure on. Alboreto, who is teammates with Sam Lowes, remember. Elf Mark VDS team looking for their 3rd win of the season as well in the opening 5 races. They certainly are having a time of it. So Sam knows his time will come again in Moto2. Sam was even going for a championship a couple of years back as well, but lost out due to a broken finger. Just taking a look, Sam is actually up into 16th position. He's passed Marcos Ramirez, and now he's only got Sean Dillon Kelly before Sam Lowes is back into the points. As we've got Feminai Agua taking now his long lap penalty to drop him back as well on the circuit. I was just wondering what that was on the track as to why we were getting riders dropping. He's dropped behind Agua now, so I go down to 10th at the moment. And Sam is 1.9 seconds, and yeah, Agua's long lap penalty is complete. Yeah, so Sam Lowes is 1.8 seconds behind Sean Dillon Kelly, so he's got a few laps to close it up. Lap 9 of 14, about to start lap 10 of 14, with 5 laps to go of this Moto2 French Grand Prix. And like we had in Spain, like we had as well at Argentina, and even America, actually, we've got a 3-way fight for the win. And I think, Omi, this isn't normal Moto2. Because of the restarted race, it's closed everybody up. It was a very chaotic start in the first race, and this isn't normal Moto2. Usually it's a lot more spread out than this, but shorter laps means everyone's a bit condensed.
Yeah, more pushing as well, so it's going to be interesting, this one as well. So, I'm happy that I'm getting the exciting races that I'm here for, so... well, that's always good, but yeah, hoping that we get a battle till the end, and even though a series might not deliver always, there will be that race. Like at some point, Formula 1 will also have a good race. It won't just remain boring for the whole season. There will be a race where just Red Bull retire or something that we get a good one. So yeah. This has been a good race, and it's not been a race that we have got bored really at any point, because there's always been something dramatic happening. And right now, even though we might not get any wheel to wheel, we are getting some we are getting everyone a bit more closer. So we are kind of building up, just like the Moto3 to some battles. They've of course a bit more of a gap with Moto3. They're literally right behind each other, but here. A bit more like, I guess, the car racing, like Formula 2, where they're just following with a tiny bit of a gap, but they're still there, so we could be getting some overtaking, hopefully. But yeah, it's going to be, hopefully, we're going to get some battles right to the end.
Looks like we will, with 4 laps to go now. Alboreto and Salak and Lopez are closing in with each other as well. Top 3, the ones to watch as you hear the wonderful Kalex bikes screaming out with their Moto2 engines, and now something goes a bit silent. There's 3 manufacturers in this series: Kalex, the Boscano bikes, and the Forward bikes. Forward supplying just 2 bikes, Boscano supplying also 2, Kalex the entire field. So out of 29, there's only 4 not on Kalex. There is Sam Lowes, who has fought back to 16th place as well, and might get, even if he just gets a World Championship point, I think everyone's going to be delighted with that. Tony Alboreto looks though for the team to get maximum attack, and they'll take the lead as well in the Constructors' Championship, the team's standings as well, for Moto2's World Championship. That's the thing, unlike with Formula 2 and Formula 3, Moto2 and Moto3 are world championships. They count. So if you are a winner here, you are a world champion in the MotoGP paddock. So there's a lot on the line, like in Formula 2 and Formula 3 as well, where it's only championships, not world championships as well.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so even Moto E is a world championship event this season, as well, as they do 16 races instead of the 8 they did originally. That classified them as a World Cup as well. Same actual rule for Formula 1. If Formula 1 only has 8 events per year, it's only a World Cup. If it goes over 8, it is classified as a World Championship. So yeah, that's how you know. So that's why there's always more than 8 events for Formula 3. So it still classifies as
Is
a
Formula
championship.
E a world championship?
Yes, it is, yeah. It wasn't originally. Formula E was just a championship, but then it became an official world championship. Basically, to be a world championship with the FIA, you've just got to pay for it. Literally, you've got to just put up the dollar to say you want to be a world championship. So that's why Formula 2 and Formula 3 don't do that. But they could do if they wanted to as well, which is a really annoying thing. But in the FIM, it works differently. You have to be awarded the class of World Championship, which Moto2 and Moto3 have been, because they graduated from the 125cc Championship, World Championship and the 250cc World Championships in the early 2010s. As well, to match MotoGP, who grew from the 500cc category World Championship to the 1000cc World Championship that we enjoy today as well. 3 to go then, and the race has quietened down. I know it's a dangerous thing to say, but it has. Albarino is 6 tenths ahead to Salak, who is 4 tenths ahead to Lopez. So they'll just start gapping themselves, and then you'll see on lap with 2 to go, and now on the next following lap they'll start closing up a bit more. Then hopefully on the last lap they'll be right there. Vietti, Chantra and Dixon have closed in as well to make it a 6-way fight. Jake Dixon, though, I think has had one of the better days right now. Really annoyed actually that Sam couldn't get on pole position. What could have been for Sam Lowes on that bike, considering he's fought back to 16th place as well. So that rule needs changing, that they can. And Aguirre's past Garcia. That rule needs changing so that if you leave your pit garage within 60 seconds, you can get back out on the circuit, take the start, because it's not harming anybody. It's a silly restart procedure as well, because if you left the pit lane with a second to go, it's still the same gap, because everyone's going to get to the grid. So that rule needs changing, in my opinion, as Albarino enters the museum turn 7 corner with Garage Vieux next as well. He's got 5 tenths of a second to Philip Salak as well. So Albarino comfortably in control with a couple of miles left on this course at the Bugatti circuit. It's been, I think, the best Moto2 race of the year. And I thought we had a barnstormer in Argentina and America. And Dixon has passed Chantra. Dixon is up into 5th position for Great Britain. So great move there. Chantra down to 6th. Tony Albarino, though, in the 14 for Italy, is closing in on another win this season. It'll be his 5th Moto2 victory, and he's 2nd of the season after winning in Argentina. Out of Recruitment. Last lap then for Moto2. Surprisingly, we're only going to be delayed about 10 minutes. Pedro Costa is now willing Albarino to crash in order to that he doesn't have to do a 20... Oh, look at that. They're all saying the same top speed, the top 3. All 261 kilometers an hour. Vietti's going the fastest. Dixon's the same at 261. So that's the Calex bikes for you. And a Lopez as well going a little bit faster. So nice to see. Nice to see. As Albarino now just 4 tenths. Salak's building the pressure on as well. Albarino's starting to feel it as well. But this is the interesting factor. It's now going to be a 25-point gap in the championship. That is nothing. Absolutely nothing. One accident for Albarino, and Acosta taking a win brings it all right back. And in Moto2, as it has been proven in this race, anything can happen. Yes, we have some boring races, but every now and then we get a race like this which throws everything in. And look at that! Sam Lowes is up into 15th. Sam Lowes has passed Sean Dillon Kelly. Sam Lowes is into the points. I think that's a brilliant call to effectively go through half the field to get a point in 14 laps is fantastic. But Tony Arbolino, 6/10 to Salak. Just final sector, 3 corners left. Now 2. Rakudamon to take it. Oh, he had a little bit of a wiggle there, trying to get into Rakudamon. Out of the last corner. Tony Arbolino masters Le Mans and extends the title lead to 25 points. Tony Arbolino wins the French Grand Prix. Philippe Salak is second. Alonso Lopez goes third. And Sam Lowes fights back for 15th. That is a brilliant performance from any rider. Pedro Acosta watches on what could have been a monstrous race at Le Mans. Tony Arbolino, 25 points ahead. He's now on 99 with Acosta on 74. He wins the French Grand Prix and celebrates with Philippe Salak. Tony Arbolino in this year's World Championship looks brilliant. He's got 99 points and Pedro Acosta ain't got one. So let's go through then the results for the Moto2 French Grand Prix. Tony Arbolino taking the race victory with Philippe Salak in second. Alonso Lopez is third. Justina Vietti is fourth. Jake Dixon in fifth. Somkat Chantra is sixth. Barry Boltus seventh. Femin Ayagura is eighth. Ayagura ninth. Sergio Garcia rounds out the top 10. Lucas Tumelik is 11th. Joe Roberts 12th. Jeremy Alcoba 13th. Dennis Foggia is 14th. And Sam Lowes fights back for 15th place. Sean Dillon Kelly is 16th. Marcos Ramirez 17th. Bo Ben Schneider is 18th. Senna Aguirre is 19th. Zonta van der Golsberg is 20th. Lorenzo Dalla Porta is 21st. Aizano Guevara is 22nd. Borja Gomez is 23rd. Out of the race was Alex Iscraig as well. Pedro Acosta crashed out. Rory Skinner crashed out at the same time. And crashing in the race part 1 before the red flag, Manuel Gonzalez, who I'm delighted to say is okay. Alberto Reynas, who is okay. And Aaron Cannon, who is conscious, but I believe has been taken to the medical centre for some checkups. As soon as we have any news as well, we will let you know ASAP on Aaron Cannon. In terms of the world standings then, coming into this one now, look at that, it's changed again. 99 points for Tony Arbolino, 25 the difference now between him and Pedro Acosta after coming in level on 74. Alonso Lopez moves one clear, Philippe Salak on 61 to 60. Then we get 52 for Aaron Canat. Jake Dixon moves to 6 on 47. Clear now, Sam Lowes on 44. Somkat Chantra has 39. Justina Vietti is 28, the same as Feminine Good to round out the top 10. Alberto Reynas is 27. Manuel Gonzalez 26. Sergio Garcia 23. Jeremy Alcoba 22. Ben Schneider and Boltus on 16 each as well. Ahead then for Dan Binder on 10. Joe Roberts 10. Ayagura 8. Lucas Tumelik 6. Dennis Foggia on 4. Well, it's all been in the action. We'll get the thoughts of Omi shortly. Let's head back over as they're still on the track, actually, with the celebrations, Omi. So what did you make of the Moto2 race here at the French Grand Prix?
Yep, it had its dramatic moments. And, yeah, so it was a good race. So, as you said, probably the rest of the season. I haven't seen others, but from what I've heard, it does seem like this one was a great one compared to what we've been having before. But so yeah, great. It's a great race. Really enjoyed it. Obviously, first time watching Moto 2 and 3. I've only really seen some clips. Sometimes that's the only time where I've seen something. The only one I remember would be the one where I think there was a bike down, and then there was someone going in the air to avoid. If you remember, you might know that, Josh.
That's very, like, a lot. It happens a lot. That does happen a lot.
Oh, right.
I'll figure it out. What year was it?
I'm not sure about the year, but I saw it in best saves. So like they put Joe's Monaco one, and a few others. So that's what I think. That's I think where I saw it.
Was it raining? No.
Don't.
Could have been.
I mean, I can't even remember now. I might be able to get it up actually. I might check.
If you can't, I'll let you know, but it narrows it down a little bit. I suppose I think it could be Songcat Chancha for anything. Okay, they're all three now back here with Tony Alberino, flossing a little bit and doing the gun salutes, and now as well the loser at the top. He's happy, I think, coming back in. Let's go over to BT Sport as Tony Alberino dancing. What a day that team has had. Let's head over to BT and Gavin Emmett and Michael Laverty.
He's a character, is Tony. And he celebrates down there with the Mark VDS team. He's loved that one. Obviously a little bit of a joke between the team going on. Right, let's go to third place finisher today. Alonso Lopez, another podium for him.
Alonso, you've been fast all weekend, dealing with some technical problems, chatter, but you still put it on the podium. Great ride.
Yeah, I did my best like always, but in these last races, I think that we are missing a little bit. Now we are gonna work a lot on the bike to change a little bit the setting, because if I want to win, I should make a little bit changes. But I am really happy for the team, for me, for everyone that support me, like my manager, my mental coach, everyone that support me. So very happy, and now enjoy a little bit at home.
Great job, congratulations.
Well done to Alonso Lopez. Just missing something, Michael.
Yeah, you can see that it's not coming as easy. Perhaps they have changed the chassis, but at the end of 22, he could walk on water. He could do what he wanted with the bike. Right now, suffering from a little bit of chatter, as you heard from Simon Crayflower. And it's, yeah, just the guys are at the top of their game. So Arbolino, Acosta, Sam Lowe's making it hard.
They are indeed, but this rider fought very hard to stay in that front group and takes his first dry podium.
I've repeatedly told you you've surprised everyone this season, and you've done it again. What a ride.
Thank you very much. Thanks. I enjoyed this race so much. I gave my all. I know it was the first track of the year where I was not struggling with the arm pump, so I was 100% fit, and yeah, it's amazing. It was my best race of the life. You know, I did last year also P2, but was in wet conditions. This is my first podium in my career with slick tires, so I'm so happy for it. Thanks to my team, to Nadia, to everyone who has supported me, because last year was really hard and I didn't know if I will be able to continue this year. But they gave me a chance, and I'm showing that I have the talent for stay here. Thank you very much.
Big congratulations.
He really is showing that he's got what it takes, and it's consistent as well now, Michael. Fourth in the championship, first podium ever in the dry, but all top 9 finishes, a fourth, a seventh, a fifth, a ninth, and now a second place.
Yeah, he looks brilliant on the bike, works hard at it. Not had an easy rookie season, but he's bounced back so well this season. Pre-season testing, he was definitely the surprise package, and he's kept the momentum rolling.
So that's Filip Salac taking his first dry podium. Been a lot more of those for Tony Arbolino. His 5th victory in Moto2, his 9th podium, the 21st of his Grand Prix career, bearing in mind that he had a fair few back in the Moto3 class. Just taking a little bit of time. There he is. You can see him heading towards the back of Parc Ferme, where he'll speak to Simon Crayflower after taking a full 25-point haul today. Just pose for the cameras first, and then Simon will grab it.
Super fast pace, tricky conditions, people falling, and once again, you were the man.
My goodness, man. Feel crazy, man. It was a tough race physically. Also, after 2-3 laps, I was feeling already a bit tired. I don't know why, because maybe it's cold conditions, so maybe I get something tonight, yesterday night. But anyway, yeah, super happy. What a team job. They make an incredible step Saturday morning, so amazing, so happy, man. I want to say all to everybody at home that they are following me. Also, it's a mom day, so mom day, my mom that is watching me, so anyone, I mean, good feelings. I mean, I deserve it. I think I deserve it, so let's keep going.
Huge congratulations.
So, guys.
Well,
Well, every day should be a mum day, shouldn't it? Tony Arbolino there, just knocking it out of the ballpark, doing everything he needed to do with the two main protagonists really not in the mix.
Yeah, unreal, really. Again, a little bit like the Moto3 race. We saw then a sensational performance in the trickiest conditions. You can see we're standing here in the sun, it feels nice, but that wind is a northerly
icy,
wind.
Isn't it?
It's icy, exactly. I'm going to say it's not cold, it's icy. So that's the issue, and that's why Sam Lowe's crashed, that's why Pedro Acosta crashed. It's really hard to feel the limit with that cold wind blowing on that front tyre. You go all the way up that front straight. Honestly, it's so difficult.
Let's pick our way through it then. Sam Lowe's, first of all, in what was a heartbreaking story in the end. It was Hollywood-esque. Let's go from the crash.
Yeah, I'm just so gutted for him because it's the end of the second lap. The tyres are, you know, you've got to say the tyres are up to temperature, but you go up that straight into that wind and it's cool. And the problem is it gives you no feeling, you get no sensation at all. So it just locks you down. And literally, as Sam's sliding, he'll be going, you can see, it's like, what has happened? I didn't do anything, I didn't get any information. And unfortunately then, that was, you know, they had to try and fix the bike.
Well, then we were in a race against time, weren't we, Sylvain? The teamwork was magnificent in there, run by Gilles Bigot, was fantastic. Sam just about making it back, and then I think they missed it by something like 3.5 seconds.
Yeah, they did a great job to fix it and get him going again, you know. And for Sam as well, you restart with a bike. You know, we don't quite know how good the bike was for the race if it was fully repaired. But they did a great job, you know. It just reminded me of the job that they do in the 24-hour racing, you know, when they can fix the bike so fast, because the bike was damaged there. You know, we saw it roll in the gravel, so almost made it back. Sam did a great race, you know, to fight his way back, and it didn't give up, and that's it. It was a small mistake, you know, and he paid a high price.
I think that's the hardest earned point ever seen in Moto2, isn't it?
Yeah, it was so difficult for Sam because he actually got from last on the grid, he got a bad start as well, so it was last round the first few corners. I thought, you know, in that position, sometimes if you can get a good start, you can make positions, but that was a tough race, just unlucky, really unlucky.
Yeah, it was really unlucky today, but let's go and celebrate the podium, taking nothing away from Tony Arbolino and the boys.
Yeah, absolutely right, Susie. Unlucky for one half of the garage, but they all clubbed together, didn't they, to help Sam, and they deserve to taste the champagne for victory for Tony Arbolino too, because he has performed again. Another top 4 finish. That's his 4th podium in 5 races for Arbolino. Just missed out at Jerez last time. What a season he is putting together. Team's award will go to Lucio Nicastro, Tony's crew chief. I tell you what, a year bouncing around a few teams, Lucio Nicastro, after years of doing that. Found a home there at Mike BDS alongside Tony Arbolino. It's good to see. Vice President of the French Federation hands out the trophy. 3rd of Alonso Lopez's season, and Lopez moves up to 3rd in the championship. Now 13 points behind Pedro Acosta, full 38 behind Tony Arbolino, who is the championship leader by 25 points after he took a full haul today. Philip Salac celebrates 20 points. He's up to 4th in the championship. What a season he's putting together. Didn't know if he was even going to be riding this year. Make sure you lock that one in the van, Philip. As local councillor, he's going to hand out the trophy to Tony Arbolino. 99 points for the season. Tony Arbolino takes victory for the 2nd time this year. His home Grand Prix coming up next. Sam Lowe's celebrating with him underneath the podium. But Arbolino has done it again. His main rival crashed out.
A fantastic race then here at Le Mans for the Moto2, and now it's champagne time on the top step. Exactly how we like to see it. Moto 2 and 3 are complete. MotoGP is next as well. Let's just take that down for a second as BT go off. Omi, thanks to you. See you in MotoGP shortly as well. We'll be back in around
Yeah, I also
about...
found it.
Say again?
I also found the thing.
Oh, brilliant. What was it then?
It was basically a few years ago. It was in the Moto3 at actually the circuit we're currently at, Le Mans. I don't know how to say it, but I think Irozaka.
Yes, okay, I know what you're on about now. Yeah, flying up and down. Yeah, I remember it. Yeah, same part of the track at La Chapelle, right? No, I remember. It was the last corner.
Wait, is that the final?
Yeah, it's the last corner. He had a fly and he caught it, yeah?
Yeah.
Ah, I do remember. Brilliant. Cheers, Omi. We'll see you back there shortly then. We will be back in half an hour for all of the action from MotoGP and the warm-up there. Their 1,000th Grand Prix. We'll see you soon. Moto2, though, the best race of the year is Tony Alberino, who's got 99 points. Pedro Costa, not got one. We'll see you next time out in a month's time for Moto2. Back, though, soon for MotoGP. Bye-bye.